Then there's Tamil, a nice regular name, good old Tamil.
Yeah.
He
sure
taught.
Tamil got shot by police last weekend.
Yeah, Tamil is against police brutality. Okay. Tamil taught astronomy. He taught.
Welcome to another edition of Intellectual Dummies. I'm your host, Lucas, and this is my co-host, Paul.
Hello.
And today we have a book review edition, and me and Paul have been going over the Book of Enoch, an apocryphal story from the Bible. But before we get into it, like, comment, subscribe, let us know what you think, and let us know what you think about the Book of Enoch or what you learned from it, from this discussion. And let's get into it.
Well, read it for yourself. Don't fucking go by what we talk about.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, never take anybody's word for it. You know, you always want to do your own research because there's so much stuff we're not going to get everything right. You know, even when you watch our Bible episodes, I mean, there's just so much information to go over. It's impossible to get it done in a half an hour or an hour conversation. But it's definitely worth it. I mean, that's why people study this stuff for their whole lives.
That's why they only study certain sections too.
Exactly. So, I mean, but definitely worth the read if you're into stuff like this, which we definitely are. And we're going to be making it a point to go over more religious stuff. So, yeah, I mean, let's get into it. So basically, just to give everybody a quick overview, you know, the Book of Enoch it's an old Jewish story from the Jewish text, and really the only Christians that I could find that still go by the Book of Enoch are in Ethiopia. I think the Ethiopian Christians.
I heard that like in Ethiopia they have like the original Bible that includes the apocryphal story of Enoch.
Yeah, so this was written 2,300 years ago. I mean, there's 5 different books that were all written at different times, starting in 300 BC. It's this book for me really opened my eyes up to everything else. Like, this was like, to me, this story is like a linchpin for me. You know, this really got me like way more interested in studying religions and mythologies more than anything else.
Why is that, if I may ask?
Well, so in the first book, The Watchers, you know, they were angels that came down from heaven to watch man, and they ended up procreating and creating giants. But one thing that they also did was they started giving man knowledge and technology, right? And then when I read that, I just got like flashes in my head of like ancient aliens where the Anunnaki are handing agricultural tools to man.
Yep.
You know, and then in Egypt the same thing, and you got Zeus, the Greek gods. They all had their own powers. Egypt, the Norse gods, and you just start thinking about all these other mythologies, and you're like, wait a minute, were these just the Watchers that just came down and kind of took over different areas of
Hmm.
civilization.
Yeah.
It
Well,
really makes you think. I mean, in India, you look at some of these ancient Indian stories, and you're like, wait, that they got crazy technology, or is it magic, or what's going on?
yeah, exactly. Like in the Mahabharata, like we talked about before. You and I just like off fucking camera, but like, there's a story where they're like, yo, he flew down on his flying chariot, and he had a crossbow that shot 1,000 flaming arrows at once. It's like, did that shoot 1,000 flaming arrows at once, or was it a fucking missile?
Yeah, or bullets, or a
Or
machine
like
gun.
a grenade launcher? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Like,
well, like you see in movies when a machine gun shoots, you can kind of see the bullets. So they got the
yeah.
tracer fire bullets.
Or like when a missile lands, it explodes into fire. They were like,
Yeah,
"Whoa, that was like 1,000 flaming fucking bows,"
yeah,
like 1,000
exactly.
flaming arrows.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's funny because it was watching an episode of Ancient Aliens where they were referring to the Book of Enoch that turned me on to the Book of Enoch.
Yeah, yeah. No, I mean, that makes me want to revisit. It makes me just want to research so much more, and we will in good time. But yeah, so that was that for me. I mean, this was like definitely like a me stepping through the threshold, like holy shit, like because when it comes to religion, I mean, I guess I guess I'm a Christian, but at the same time, it's like when we first started having these discussions, you would tell me like, I believe it all. I believe all of it. And I'm like, all right, well, he smokes a lot of weed, so I get it. But now I'm like kind of in that same boat now.
Yeah, you believe it all.
I believe it all just off of this one story because this
Hmm.
one story kind of fits together all the other different
Well,
religions and
well, even
mythology.
with even with Adam and Eve, how they mentioned the resurrection of Christ twice.
Yeah,
Like, that was wild too,
yeah, yeah, yeah. You know,
Or like how in Adam and Eve, when God threw the serpent and he landed in India, and then I looked it up, and India was one of the fucking original countries that started serpent worship.
yeah, exactly. There's like little clues like that.
Yeah, it's very
And I feel
weird.
like there's little clues across all these mythologies and religions, and they just need to be put together. And I think it's like, I mean, I don't think it's going to be a cohesive story anymore because I think a lot of knowledge has been lost. But I mean, like I said, this is like, to me, this is like the threshold, and I think this is why they maybe people took the Book of Enoch out,
Yeah, I don't
was
get
so
it.
that people wouldn't go here where we're going, where me and you are going to be going.
You think they would want everyone to do that though? Why would they take it out? Like that was like, and we talked about this before when we did our first Bible episode, where it's like when I first listened to the audiobook of the Bible, like I just noticed the genealogy of Adam. They fast forwarded like 7,000 years. I was like,
Mm.
well, what the fuck happened there? And that was the post flood world. I'm like, so it made me go towards that because I was like, why would they just fast forward like that?
Yeah,
You know,
exactly. And this is in between that. We're talking about Enoch is Noah's is his grandfather
his
or his great
grandfather,
grandfather.
I believe it's his grandfather,
Yeah.
because there's a part that's a letter to my grandson Noah, I believe.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, it's his grandfather. So but yeah, so I'm fairly certain it's in here somewhere, but there's a lot to go through. But yeah, it's his grandfather, and this is one of the things that they fast forwarded through.
Yeah,
I mean, I feel like the stuff had to have happened. Stuff had to have happened in between that, and this is where we're at. I
yeah. It's
mean,
like, yo, nothing happened in 7,000 years. Nothing
yeah,
significant to write down.
yeah,
Come
I
on.
know, I know. But yeah, so just to get into it. I mean, the Watchers. This is probably where we're going to be at most of the episode, because this is like, to me, this is the most important part.
Why?
It's just more. It's more. This is the more important part, in my opinion, because this to me is the linchpin of everything. Maybe parables too, the book of parables. But then you get the astronomical book, and you're like, that kind of put me to sleep, because it just kind of presents the calendar and the cycles of the solar year. Excuse me.
Of course. Just fucking burp away, Lucas.
Yeah,
It's
no, I
fine.
was eating McDonald's before the episode.
What did you get?
I got a burger and fries.
Okay, what number, motherfucker? Just say it.
Two. I got
A number two.
2C.
Okay.
Yeah, quarter.
Yeah,
pound.
you went and ordered a single burger and a single order of fries. No, what did you get?
No,
You know?
I got the meal.
Yeah, you got the number two. That's what I meant. Like that's
Yeah.
what I was expecting you to say. Not like I got the burger and the fries. Like what are you talking about?
But yeah, I mean, Enoch lived, what was it, 364 years or something?
Something like that. It might have even been
And
365.
oh yeah, well, oh yeah. So this is actually interesting, because in the book it says it presents the calendar system of a 364 day solar year. Now you think about the leap year. So I wonder if that is in the, that's why it's one day off, maybe, I don't know.
Maybe.
But yeah, so I mean, the astronomical book, like, okay, I get that, the book of dreams, I mean, that was pretty crazy, because I think Enoch is through Cain's bloodline, right? Let me just check. In the dreams, Cain was symbolic of in Cain's bloodline. And Cain was the one that killed his brother and got
Killed Abel.
Yeah. So that's why he was the symbol in his dreams was what was it, the black sheep? Or give me a sec. Right here. Was the black bull. So I mean, black is symbolic of something that may be dirty or bad, or
evil,
impure, whatever. So I mean, that's why that might be another reason why people cut it out, was because, I mean, we got all these characters in the Bible that, you learn about, and then you don't really learn about them again, like Cain. But this is where Cain's story went, So just to get into the Watchers, we'll just get into the Watchers right now. There was about 200 angels that came down, and they all made a pact with each other that they were just going to defy God and start procreating with women and sullying themselves. That's something that they made apparent, was they sullied themselves as soon as they started procreating with women. And they created the Nephilim, the giants. And the giants were obviously hybrids, and they reigned terror across the world. I don't know. Do you have anything you want to bring up? I know you were looking up the names of the angels and stuff like that.
I do have that. If we can go over that list real fast. So we got. So we got, let's see, Semyaza. His role was the leader of the Watchers. Knowledge taught, root cutting, enhancements, or enchantments, in sorcery. Semyaza is described as teaching human spells in the use of plants, like for magical and medical purposes.
Okay.
Oh, so he taught us how to smoke weed, man. The devil's lettuce. Then there's Azazel, and his knowledge that he taught was metalworking, including the making of weapons, swords, knives, and shields, and cosmetics, ornaments, jewelry, and the art of beautifying the eyes. Azazel's teachings are associated with the warfare and vanity leading to violence and immorality. Then we got a Mazarak, knowledge taught sorcery, enchantments. He instructed humans in magical arts, contributing to their spiritual corruption. I think this is another reason why too that a lot of these apocryphal stories are taken out is because they talk a lot about magic and sorcery.
Yeah.
Like when we get into Exodus, you're gonna see like there's a scene in Exodus where God tells Moses like, yo, you gotta tell all of them fucking that they gotta like let the people go or else I'm gonna fuck them all up. Long story short,
Yeah.
and Moses is like, yo, all these sorcerers, how am I gonna stand up to them? And God's like, yo, take this staff. And there's a scene where Moses goes in and shows all the sorcerers that his staff is more powerful than their staffs.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of magic and mysticism in these stories that I think they just don't want us knowing about. Because even these angels, like teaching them root cuttings and enchantments and sorcery, like they're teaching them sorcery.
Yeah.
Are you just yesing me to death like you always do?
No, I'm reading the thing on the screen.
All right, next is Berkael, knowledge taught astrology. He taught humans to observe the stars and understand celestial signs. See, that's wild too, right?
Yeah, I mean, I'll blame him for a couple
He
ex-girlfriends.
he taught them astrology. That's
Yeah.
but that was considered knowledge of the gods.
Yeah, so I mean, one thing, I mean, when we're reading all this stuff, teaching metallurgy and
Putting on makeup,
putting on makeup and
root cutting.
medicines and stuff like that, in your mind, you're like, okay, well, what's bad about that? I mean, a lot of good came from it, right? We got
But a lot of corruption did too.
but yeah, exactly. So when you have, it's kind of like one thing, there's a famous author, Will Durant, when you have too much freedom, but you don't have the values to rein in that freedom, things get corrupted.
Mm-hmm.
And that's exactly kind of the point of this was humans didn't have the values or the knowledge to harness this knowledge property. So, we learned how to use metallurgy. I don't know how to say that word properly.
I believe it's metallurgy.
Metallurgy or something, yeah. And what did we do? I mean, we made war with it.
Yeah, we made
With the
knives and
medicines, what did
swords.
we do? We made drugs with it.
Yeah.
With the makeup, what did we do? We made whores with it.
Yep.
I mean, that's the point of this is they came down and corrupted men and taught them things that they weren't supposed to know.
Mm-hmm.
And
All right,
God was pissed.
let's continue on. So let's see. Akabil, the knowledge that they taught, signs likely related to divination or omens. This involved interpreting supernatural or natural signs for guidance, whatever that means.
Yeah.
Then there's Tamil, a nice regular name, good old Tamil.
Yeah.
He
Sure,
taught.
Tamil got shot by police last weekend.
Yeah, Tamil is against police brutality. Okay. Tamil taught astronomy. He taught humans about the movements of celestial bodies. Now, what is that? Like the planets?
Yeah, that's got to be the planets and stuff. That's some type of other astronomy. Yeah.
Oh, okay. So it says the
The
movement of
zodiac,
celestial
maybe.
bodies, possibly for navigation or divination.
Yeah, divination. Yeah, which is like
Okay.
witchcraft.
Okay. Ramiel, the knowledge that was taught was not explicitly detailed in the text, but associated with the broader teachings of the Watchers, possibly related to divine or forbidden knowledge. Donnell taught not explicitly specific, but part of the group teaching forbidden arts. Oh, okay, so these here all say not specific. And then let's see, Amoros taught the resolving of enchantments, counter spells, or ways to break magical bindings.
Wow, huh?
And then all these are not specific. And yeah, that's that.
So all of these. I mean, there was 200 of them, but I think these were like the main ones.
Yeah,
Or
they
at
were
least
like
the ones
they
they
were like
write
the
about.
main yeah, they were like the main ones that taught the humans the shit.
Yeah, and yeah. So again, I mean, all these technologies were used to corrupt man. And again, just to not to be redundant, but I just start thinking about the Greek gods and the Norse gods and stuff, how
Mm-hmm.
they were all giants and they all had those technologies. So it links all these things together. I mean, that's what I love about this story, and it just makes a lot of sense why they took it out. So I mean, just to continue, the giants basically run roughshod over the entire world, and they're like eating people, destroying civilizations, and God is pissed. God is pissed, and the humans reach out to God and they want God to do something. So God sends the archangels, Michael, Raphael, Gabriel, and Uriel, to punish them. So what happens is the flood of the flood. That's also in so many stories across
Different
the world.
mythologies. Yeah, different mythologies.
Yeah, I mean, cultures that didn't even know that the other cultures existed have
But
stories of
e-
the
but
flood.
even like we talked about before, like they found the teeth of the megalodon in the mountains of Montana. So
Yeah.
it was underwater at some point,
Oh
you
yeah,
know?
absolutely, absolutely. I mean, you look at they find like seashells on Mount Everest and stuff. Now that could just be Earth's crust pushing up the the floor and making mountains. Yeah, sure, but I mean, we know that there was a flood, and evidence shows that we know that there was a flood pretty much right down the middle of North America. When you start learning about stuff that Randall Carlson has been teaching for the last about probably like 10 years, and Graham Hancock, things that they've been uncovering. Um, so we know, I mean, again, just just like these different angels, aka different gods, we also have stories of the flood all across the world. Um, so in the book of parables, pretty much foreshadows the final judgment. Wicked rulers, sinners, and fallen angels get destroyed. The people that are good are vindicated.
So I have here, if you want, I can read it.
Yeah.
I asked Grok to give me a list of all the other mythological stories that have a flood.
Oh, okay.
You want me to read them?
Yeah, yeah.
All right, here we go. Oh, what I just do? Hold on. Oh, okay, let's get back there. Boom, 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 bam. All right, so here we go. Global flood myths similar to the biblical Noah story. Mesopotamia and Near Eastern myths. Epic of Gilgamesh, the god Enki warns Antanaphism, a wise king, of a flood sent by the gods to destroy humanity for overpopulation and noise. Antipanism, whatever, I'm going to be mispronounced a lot of these names, builds a massive boat, loads it with his family, craftsmen, and animals, and survives a 7-day deluge. He releases a dove. La-ti-da, Lucas. La-ti-da. He releases a dove, swallow, and a raven to find land, then offers sacrifices. The gods grant him immortality. So that's a story very similar to Noah.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, Noah released a dove to see if it would come back with like a leaf or something.
Yeah,
Remember?
it came back with some type of like
Yeah.
vine or stick. All right, so then there's Astra Hassis epic. Similar to Gilgamesh, the god Enlil instructs Asterisks to build a boat to escape a flood, punishing human noise. So human noise is clearly corruption too.
Yeah.
So he saves his family and the animals. So that's another story of another Noah. Let's
And the
see.
Sumerians did too, huh? Wow.
Yeah, a redo Genesis, Sumerian king list, and this is from another ancient Sumeria. Zasudra or Zasudra, okay, a pious king is warned by the god Enki of a flood decreed by the council of gods. He builds a boat, survives with animals, and preserves life after the deluge. What's that word
The
again?
deluge. The deluge
The
is just
the
another word for flood.
Oh, I've never
Like,
heard that before in my
yeah,
life.
deluge is like a giant, like apocalyptic flood.
So then there's the Noah's Ark story, which is in Genesis, but I hear Greek and Roman mythology, deculation in Pyra, Greek from Ovid, metamorphoses in earlier sources like Hesiod, 8th century BCE. Zeus floods the world
Wow.
to punish humanity's Bronze Age wickedness. Prometheus warns his son Decaleon to build a chest. He and his wife Pura float for 9 days, landing on Mount Parnassus. They repopulate the earth by throwing stones that turn into humans, following an oracle's advice. So that's like the story of Noah's Ark on like acid.
Yeah.
Yeah. We'll just throw these stones in the fucking lake, and then humans will fucking
Yeah.
just be born. So Indian and Hindu mythology, the god Vishnu, as a fish, Matsya, warns the virtuous king Manu of an impending flood to cleanse the world. Manu builds a boat, ties it to the fish's horn, and saves the Vedas, 7 sages and seeds of life. The fish pulls the boat to a Himalayan peak during the deluge. Other Asian myths. The god emperor Yao faces massive floods from the Yellow River. Yu, instead of a boat, drains the waters through canals over 13 years, but includes survival elements like divine aid and repopulation themes. Hey, that was pretty smart. He's like, I don't need a boat. I'll just build a fucking canal. He's like, we're not going anywhere.
Those Asians, man, they know
Yeah,
what's
dude. Dude, he was like, no, we're not going anywhere. We don't need a vote.
up.
And then there's another one where Yora Mazda warns Hema of a harsh winter flood hybrid cataclysm. Vima builds an underground enclosure to house the best humans, animals, and plants for survival, later emerging to repopulate. We got an African myth, the sun god Ra sends a flood of blood or beer dyed red via his daughter's segment. Wait, that sounds gross. The sun god Ra sends a flood of blood via his daughter's segment to destroy disrespectful humans. Sacrament is tricked into sparing some life. It's more punitive than preservative, but shares divine retribution. And then, I mean, so we have all these different examples.
Every continent, it seems like. I mean, we didn't read them all, but it seems like every continent has at least 2 or 3 stories from different cultures on some type of flood that's happened.
And the reason for the flood is that the gods are pissed at the people for being corrupt.
Yeah, yeah, exactly, exactly. Um, what? So the flood happens, and um, what happens? Wipes out everything, right? Civilization starts anew through the bloodline of Noah and his family. They're the only ones left. Now, in the book of parables, kind of goes over kind of what you hear Christians saying about the second coming of Christ, about how there's going to be so much corruption and a lot of corruptions through the kings and degradation of values and stuff like that. And with the second coming, he's going to wipe everybody out, but the righteous will rise to the dead and go to heaven. Kind of like how, kind of like when we were talking to our old friend there, the Jehovah's Witness, how like what was it, 144,000 people are going to go to heaven or something like that,
Oh,
or
I don't
like
even remember.
14,000. Well, but yeah, I mean that's not like a real religion, um, but one of the most significant things about the Book of Enoch, of course, we kind of overlooked here, was the fact that Enoch doesn't die. God spares him from dying. So God just takes him up into heaven and he basically just disappears.
And he
This,
sees heaven before that too.
yeah, he does. He does. And that the Book of Dreams?
Yeah, where he sees like the throne that's all fire and shit.
Yeah, exactly. That's where he starts seeing all these different allegories for his, Adam was the white bull, Cain was the black bull, the Israelites were the sheep.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and he has all those visions. And I want to say that the parables were part of those visions. He witnesses the final judgment, you
Mm.
know. But I mean, this is just I mean, it's some good stuff. I mean, the Watchers was my favorite part. Um, then we got the final book. I mean, the astronomical book. I mean, we kind of went over that. That's fine. Um, um, but what's interesting too. So in the final book, um, human history is divided into 10 weeks, right? Now, before Julius Caesar was ruling, the year was divided up into 10 months. So it was like that for a while. The year was just divided up into 10 months. And then Julius Caesar came and added July and August. So that's just an interesting little fun fact,
Yeah, that's pretty weird.
Yeah. But yeah, it's funny because I know there's a lot here, but I honestly just want to like talk about the Watchers because I just think that's fucking wild.
Well, I got some wild stuff that kind of caught my eye when I was reading and listening. So, first is when he talks about what happens to the spirits of the giants. God talks about what happens to them once they're all dead. So, remember how I told you that I believe that these psychic people who claim they're speaking to spirits are really speaking to demons?
Yeah.
Okay, good. I'm glad you remember that because you don't remember anything.
That's
So,
bullshit. You
so
don't fucking
here
remember anything.
we have from the book of Enoch where God says, "And now the giants who are produced from the spirits and flesh shall be called evil spirits upon the earth, and on the earth shall be their dwelling. Evil spirits have proceeded from their bodies, because they are born from the men, and from the watchers is their beginning and primal origin. They shall be evil spirits on earth, and evil spirits shall they be called." So when, like I said before, I think when these psychic people are tapping into the spirits, they're tapping into these evil spirits of the giants.
Yeah, I mean, hey, that absolutely could be true. That absolutely could be true. I mean, you hear about like hauntings and you hear all these wild stories of ghosts and spirits and stuff like that all over the world.
Yeah, like how do you know that's not just the spirits of the giants?
Yeah, I think it absolutely could be. I think it absolutely could be, you know.
Hmm.
Um, you know, after reading this, I wouldn't I again like I kind of like believe in everything now, so
Oh, really?
um
What are you looking at?
I was just okay. I because I just wanted to see. So like sometimes God in the Bible, I forget the specific story, but like he'll curse somebody and like all of their descendants.
Mm-hmm.
So I just wanted to make sure that I just wanted to see if Cain, because he cursed Cain, you know, to he'll never be able to yield crops and he'll be the restless wanderer on the earth and
Mm-hmm.
blah blah blah. And I just wanted to make sure that God didn't curse his descendants because Enoch is obviously a descendant of Cain. And if he did, then Enoch being brought into heaven and not dying would show God's forgiveness. But that's not even um, even the case. But I wanted to make sure of that. But that would have been a better story. Maybe I should have fucking wrote the Book of Enoch.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe you should have wrote it, bro.
Yeah, let me sit down. Um, but yeah, I mean, that's
Well,
some,
I
some
still
wild
have
stuff.
I still have some more wild shit.
Okay.
So also there's wording in the book of Enoch that makes me think that maybe the earth is flat.